The Nintendo Switch 2's dock is not compatible with the original Switch, according to Nintendo. This comes courtesy of Nintendo Life. So if you were hoping to maybe use your dock, your Switch 2 dock, maybe someone in the house has a Switch OLED or an original Switch, and you were hoping to maybe just use that dock interchangeably, you know, this Switch 2 is the same width as the original Switch. It is a USB-C port on the bottom of the dock. You would think that since they're both the same width, you'd be able to use them interchangeably, right? Have one dock in front of the TV. Somebody needed a quick charge or to dock their Switch 1, they could do that. If somebody wanted to switch out and use the Switch 2, they could do that. But unfortunately, that's not going to be a thing. Let's talk about it. Let's see what Nintendo have to say. Let me know what you have to say in the comment section. Hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon. I'm Blaze2K. We cover Switch 2 news every day on the channel. And if you haven't secured your Nintendo Switch 2 pre-order yet, go check out our Switch 2 stock tracking stream, which plays an alarm, a loud alarm to let you know that Switch 2 is in stock or able to be pre-ordered at all the major retailers. It's got all the latest news on the right. It's got your stock tracker and last drops on the bottom left. We've got a great chat room with an amazing community that's always chatting away about Switch 2 in there. Go check it out. We've helped a lot of people cop Switch 2s basically up until now, and it'd be cool if you got a Switch 2 on our stream too. Anyways, so yeah, Switch 2 dock isn't compatible with the original Switch, unfortunately. Switch 2 is getting a new dock, and if you have been wondering whether you'll be able to use your original Switch with it apparently, no. According to the listing on Nintendo Japanese website, as highlighted by Nintendo Everything, the original Switch system seemingly cannot be used by the Switch 2's docking station. This includes the Switch Lite, Switch OLED devices. A user on GB Temp also supposedly reached out to Nintendo's European support team and received the following message. Dear customer, thank you for contacting Nintendo Contact Center Europe team. We understand from your message that you would like to know if you can use the old Nintendo Switch in the dock of the Switch 2. The docking station for Switch 2 is not compatible with the Switch console. No. And also on their support page locally, they've confirmed, obviously they've said Nintendo Switch dock is not compatible with Switch 2. Additionally, Nintendo's local websites mention how the original AC adapter for the Switch is not compatible in TV mode on the Switch 2, but it can still apparently charge the Switch 2 system when plugged directly into the unit. So if you have one of those, those plugs, the USB-C plug connector adapters for the original Switch with a USB-C port on one end, power adapter on the other end, that should still charge the Switch 2, which is good. It's just not going to be able to power your Switch 2 dock, unfortunately. The amount of times I've used the Nintendo USB-C charger for the dock, the Switch 1 dock, on other devices, it's just been lying around. I'm like, I need a USB-C charger. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a Switch 2. It's a Switch charger. Screw it. I'll just use this. And it's helped charge a bunch of my devices. Thank you for that adapter. I'm glad they never made it some proprietary thing. I'm glad it's USB-C. They also said, last of all, if you want to maximize the performance of the Switch 2 in TV mode, you'll want to make sure you're using a HDMI cable supplied with the new system. The unit will be supplied or shipped with an ultra high-speed HDMI cable. Obviously, not all HDMI cables are created equal. This one's obviously going to support 4K, it's going to support HDR, it's going to support 120 Hz output, and there's only certain HDMI cables that support that. I think it's like HDMI 2.1. So you will need to use a high-speed HDMI cable. Not to say that other HDMI cables won't work, you might just not get the full feature set, right? You might not be able to crank it up at 4K 120 if it's not the right cable. So if you're wondering why your old 15-year-old HDMI cable isn't allowing you to run at 4K 120 on the Switch 2 in TV mode, that will probably be why. And while we're here, we might as well take a look at the Switch 2 dock specs, right? So it's approximately 115mm by 201mm by 51.2mm. Height includes the 2mm added by the feet on the bottom of the dock. So it is hopefully going to have little rubber feet that stop it from sliding all over the place. The dock is going to weigh 383 grams. That's pretty significant. I wonder how heavy the original one was. Let me check. So here's the specs for the original one. So the original dock is 104mm tall and 173mm wide. So 104 for the original dock, 115 for the new one, 173mm wide for the original dock, 201mm wide for the new one, 51.2mm thick for the new one, 54mm thick for the old one. So the new one's actually a little bit slimmer dock wise, which is pretty interesting. The original dock was 327 grams. The new one is 383 grams. The original ports were USB ports, 2 USB 2.0 compatible ports, 1 rear port, system adapter, that was for probably powering the dock and the system connector, AC adapter port, HDMI port. The new dock has 2 USB 2.0 compatible ports on the side, system connector, AC adapter port, HDMI port, and a LAN port as well. I think the original Switch dock had a LAN port. I could be wrong, maybe not. Did it? Let me know. I don't know where mine is. I've lost it. we're that excited and hyped up about the Switch 2 that we're comparing dimensions and weights of the Switch 2 dock. It's become that bad. Switch 2, it just needs to come out already. And one thing about the Switch 2 dock, which I thought was pretty cool, and the fact that they're really hoping to crank up the TDP and the processor power on the Switch 2 when it's connected to TV to achieve those 4K 120 hertz visuals, is the fact that they've actually got a cooling fan inside the Switch 2 dock, which is absolutely unreal. And I think, you know, let's just say the Switch 1 dock is probably not going to be compatible with the Switch 2, obviously, right? If the Switch 1 isn't compatible with the Switch 2 dock, then, I mean, it goes without saying, right? But yeah, it's pretty cool. It's going to have a nice little fan built in to keep the system nice and frosty cool. Obviously, it's going to support 120 hertz, HDR, VRR, 4K output. Oh wait, what? Frame rates of 120 hertz or 120 FPS, although 4K output is locked to a maximum of 60. For real? Seriously? We're not getting 4K 120 on this? And obviously, Nvidia stated that the Switch 2 has 10 times the graphical performance of Switch 1. Quite the jump. But yeah, there we go. There's your deep dive on the Nintendo Switch 2 dock. It doesn't work with the Switch 1 dock. So if somebody in your house has a Switch 1 and you've maybe got the dock sitting up next to the TV or under the TV, you're going to have to make space for the Switch 2 dock as well, because they're not interchangeable. You can't charge both systems on one dock, unfortunately. But let me know what your thoughts are in the comments. Are you hyped up for Switch 2? If you are, hit the like, subscribe, click the bell icon. Again, check out our 24-hour stock tracking stream. Also, check out the links in the video description down below for some really great deals, as well as the Switch 2 itself. I'll put the link down below to where you can buy that at maybe GameStop or Walmart down there as well. And if you want some Switch 2 accessories and want to get the upper hand, check the links down below in the video description. And again, check out that stock tracking stream. It's a good place to hang out. Anyways, I'm Blaze2K. See you in the next one. I love you. I appreciate you. Have an amazing week. Peace.